Hi there and welcome back. This week I met with someone new. I created some kind of comfort food again that I haven't done in quite a while. And I also had, you guessed it, some more asparagus. So what else happened this week? Just stay with me for a few minutes and you will find out. And for now I just say, as always, thank you for watching. As you know by now, I'm doing Weight Watchers, and I'm currently having 41 points per day. I also have a weekly allowance of 28 points, from where I can take points if needed, but also can save up to 4 points per day and put it in there, as well as earn points from physical activities like walking. With that being said, let's get started. Oh, and a very quick insert, as you have just heard, this week I have only 41 points because with the weight loss from last week, my point allowance was put down a little bit by 1 point this week. So just so that you don't wonder, that is why now it's 41. On Sunday I skipped breakfast in lieu of an early lunch, which was spaghetti alla carbonara, where I used 200 grams of dry pasta, threw in some bacon bits, and of course I used almond milk again, so this all just was adding up to 33 points, which is still a lot but also very tasty. It's Sunday and as you can see, it is not really that sunny right now. Like yesterday, it is quite cloudy. It is warm enough to be out at least in a t-shirt, but since I had now recorded all my things that I needed for the video for last week, I think I will just head home because it's not the friendliest weather to walk in. It's not, like I said, cold, but it's also not comfy. So that should be it, because now I need to also edit the video for last week and maybe I just use the time for that. But one quick call out I wanted to let you know, and that is, though the weather is not as warm now to break out the bicycle, like I mentioned last week, I actually ordered all the stuff I need for filming with a bicycle driving around. So I have a little bit of a mount that I can attach to my bicycle and where I can put in my camera, my cell phone camera. I also bought, and that is something that is also quite interesting for just recording videos like these where I just talk directly into the camera. I also bought a directional microphone that is coming out of the phone, and that also has a dead cat that comes with it. And for everyone who does not know what that is basically the wind filter you can put over the microphone so that in windy conditions you can still record without the audio being completely obscured by the wind noise. I know that you might remember some videos I did in the past where exactly that happened. So hopefully in the future that will not happen anymore. And it's something that I can just put into my pocket because it's very small. So that is something I have planned for the future. Let's see if that is improving the quality of the videos a little bit. But for now and for today, that's it. I later had a salad, 10 points, and a pack of pork jerky that only cost me 1 point. I then was sampling a new brand of crackers I found, which is a Serbian brand of cheese crackers, which are really good because they have a really intense cheese flavor. Something where German brands are just not as good because they always go for just a touch of cheese, which is too little for my taste. The workday is almost over and I just ventured out a little bit before the end of the day to enjoy the weather. It is not that sunny, but it is nice enough to venture out. I guess I will have to do another hour of work when I'm back, but that is fine. You know, I love to just take a break in the middle of the workday or close to the end to just get out and enjoy the weather. So today I had the usual breakfast again, which is some protein bread and some crisp bread and some cold cuts on it with a little bit of yogurt underneath to just make it stick. And I have to say I'm growing sick and tired of that stuff because you can only eat that so many days in a row without it getting boring. And on the other hand, I also realized that before the pandemic hit, I never had breakfast in the first place. Usually I was just going to work and then I had early lunch around noon And that's it basically, you know. So it is a new thing to actually have breakfast, and maybe I just go back to it and have a nicer lunch instead, where I can just use up more points than usual because I save on breakfast. I will only use up the remaining crisp bread, maybe eat it dry along the way as a nice snack in the evening, I don't know, but I don't want to have that kind of breakfast anymore. Maybe I go for some more porridge and other stuff, or maybe I have my lunch even earlier, but that is at least the thing I'm playing with right now. What else is new? My sister yesterday went over to visit my niece and nephew in the southern part of Germany. So she will be gone for 2 weeks, which is great for her, and I wish she has a lot of fun over there. And it's only possible because she now finally managed to find someone who is willing to cat sit and also house sit while she's gone, because you cannot just leave your cat alone for 2 weeks, obviously. And also I'm allergic, so I cannot jump in. I might go over there from time to time, but 2 weeks alone for a cat is also not a nice thing. So she has a new friend who is just living in her flat for the time she's over there. So for now I will just get some more steps in, and then I will likely hit a grocery store to just get something to eat, because today I have a lot of points still remaining, so let's see what to do with them. I ended up buying some more schnitzel. This time the Vienna variety, which is the original made from veal, which then was only 13 points for 360 gram, instead of the 19 points for the pork variety and only 250 gram. And on top of that, it's even more delicious. And you guessed it, I also had asparagus again, with sauce for 6 points and 4 points worth of potatoes, so overall 23 points. I then had more of those cheese crackers, 9 points, and I also ordered more of them because they are really great. I ended the day with a bag of pork jerky again, 1 point. Tuesday I started with a can of Pichelsteiner Topf, 4 points. And then I had 2 knockwursts, which this time were full fat and not a reduced version, so 13 points for that, which I had with a little bit of mustard, of course. I then cooked up a dish that consisted of turkey meat for 0 points, then a glass of Cantonese sauce as a base, 14 points, and 15 points worth of rice, and I added a little bit of corn. Later I also decided to add a chopped onion as well. I let it all fry together nicely, created a bed of rice on my plate, and then placed the rest on top of it. A solid meal, overall 29 points. I ended the day again with a bag of pork jerky, 1 point. On Wednesday I tried to keep my point count a little bit lower in the morning, so I just went for 2 pieces of dried crisp bread as a snack, a beef bar and 3 eggs, 4 points overall, because I wanted to save the bulk of the points for later that day. You might remember that last week on Friday I had dinner plans, but they fell through. But we had a rain check, and on Wednesday I met with Anja, a new friend who I met earlier this year in late January at the Fantasy Film Fest White Nights, where we met through a mutual friend and stayed in contact through social media. So now we met up and went for dinner into a Vietnamese restaurant, where we had a proper starter and also a main course. And talked a lot, so it was a very entertaining evening. And afterwards we hit the movies. We watched Dungeons and Dragons, a movie that was surprisingly entertaining, which maybe also was due to the nice company. And since Anja is actually someone who is watching my channel and the videos I produce here, I just say, hi Anja, I had a very nice evening and I hope we can repeat that very soon. Later at home I had another bag of pork jerky and an apple, 1 point, and the remaining crackers, 3 points. On Thursday I started the day with a can of Texas Pot, 9 points. It was a bank holiday in Germany, but I have to say I was completely lazy, staying in, just having something to eat here and there. But I was not just slacking off the whole day, I also was creating one of my favorite foods again, a comfort food. That is German pancakes. In Berlin we call them Eierkuchen. In Germany in general they are called Pfannkuchen, which would translate to pancakes. It's basically like an American pancake, just bigger and I think a little bit more flat. But you could call it a mixture of a French crepe and an American pancake. I will share the very simple recipe in a separate video, and once it is available, I will link it at the end of this video. By the way, the food brush really starts to become my best friend. Because I only had to use so little of the plant-based shortening, I almost didn't believe it. Just 14 gram, which equals 3 points. Still, one large helping clocked in at 23 points. More than I remembered. I guess the updated Weight Watchers plan now assigns more points to flour as before, but it was worth it nevertheless. Just something I can't afford regularly. Later I had chicken wings, 10 points worth, and the rest of the bag of onion rings that I opened a few weeks ago. 7 points. Friday I started with Eierkuchen again, the second helping, just 22 points this time, because I used even less of a shortening to fry them up. Then I had a protein chocolate bar, 3 points worth, and then another one of my salads, where the only points are for the herb mix and the 2 tablespoons of oil, 10 points. As a snack in the evening I had Schüttelbrot, which is a specialty from Tirol. A very crunchy bread with a distinct cumin taste. I had 2 slices of them, 10 points. On Saturday I started with a third and last helping of these German pancakes, which this time around was 25 points, because I was left with more dough than I expected. Usually from one batch I can make 12 rolls, but this time it was 13. And after that I went for a walk. The new directional microphone I ordered has arrived, and also it came with a wind protection. So it's a little bit windy today, but in theory the sound should now be crystal clear, I hope. I will find out once I edit this video. But yeah, that one arrived, but unfortunately the mount for the bicycle did not arrive because I ordered it into an Amazon locker, and for some reason that thing was full and they didn't have space to put something in for me. And instead of just delivering it the next day, they just cancelled the order. It was that one and 3 other things I ordered that are all now back in their storage, I guess. I had to reorder the things. And some of it, I have to say, I did the right thing now and ordered it from eBay, where I should have done it in the first place. Especially since the price was not that much of a difference there. And by the way, I start to get a little bit worried about the fox that I usually see when I have a walk, because usually I see him almost every day when I have a little stroll, but the last 2 or 3 weeks I haven't seen him at all, and none of his family as well. So hopefully there was not a dog running wild and going crazy. Maybe they are just getting a little bit more shy, I don't know. But I will keep you updated once I see him again, hopefully soon. So this video basically represents week number 51 of my journey back to just losing my COVID kilos. And next week's video is the last of the spring season, and it's also marking exactly the 1-year spot of my video series. So starting the week after, I think I will change the concept a little bit again, because in the first half of the year I guess I showed you mostly me walking around, filming a lot of stuff that happens around me in nature. The second half was more me showing you what I'm having for lunch and stuff like that, so the Weight Watcher angle. I think I might likely do a mixture of that, or just a summary at the end of the week. I'm not sure how I want to tackle it going forward, but it likely will be a little bit shorter and maybe a little bit more personal, but I'm not sure. So I will let you know more details next week when I had enough time to just think about it. And that's it for now. So everything I can say at this point is just I hope that tomorrow I have lost weight again, but I'm not sure. This week it's really getting up and down a lot, so I will see. But at least I stuck to the program and I feel quite fit and well, so that is the most important thing. Well, what can I say? Schnitzel and asparagus again, where for the schnitzel I again used veal, but this time just one of the two, so 7 points, and with the potatoes and sauce this all just added up to 17 points. Later I had a bag of pork jerky, and then I had 2 ears of corn and 1 tablespoon of oil, and like I said before, the food brush is a fantastic tool to put on just enough oil to make the salt stick, just 1 point for the oil. I ended the day with another slice of a Schüttelbrot, which was 5 points. So this means I ended this week with 1 point left in my weekly allowance. It's Sunday again, and of course that means it's weighing day, and I will try to keep it short as possible I guess, by just saying that I have basically used up almost all of my weekly points. So maybe continuing the experiment from a few weeks ago, I can say maybe if I am using most of them, then my weight will not change much. Because this week it literally and virtually stayed the same in every regard, even in regards of body fat and muscle mass. So nothing changed, which is not the wanted outcome, but of course it's also not too bad because at least it didn't went up. I am just sticking to the regiment as I planned to do, which I did over the whole last week and the whole last few months, I would say, quite adamantly, so that will not change. And I assume that maybe now that the weather is getting better, today is the first day actually where it is quite warm and not just windy and kinda acceptable and comfortable, so now it's really getting warm. And with the new equipment, as you now hear, the audio should be crystal clear, even with a little bit of wind going on at this second. And hopefully the mount for the bicycle coming in soon. With that then, hopefully I can get started on driving around. Whoops. Not sure if you just could see any of that. There were some squirrels just playing around, or maybe it's mating season. They were just hopping around me, and there are a lot of squirrels right now running around everywhere. So that took a little bit of my attention away, so sorry about that. Where was I? So, what I wanted to say is that with the equipment that I've bought and the mount for the bicycle coming in hopefully soon, now that the weather is great, I hope I can get out more and maybe drive around a little bit on my bike. Which might mean that more physical activity can lead to more weight loss. I don't know, hopefully. I mean, this week I was walking around almost as much as last week, just in a different matter, because last week I had 12,000 steps on Sunday and this week I had it a little bit stretched over the week. So, not sure if that means anything, but I guess I can find out over the next few weeks. And also, like I mentioned before, I might tweak a little bit how this video series will look like over the next few months. Starting with the week after next, when the second year of my journey is starting. So, that's it for me and for today. I hope you had a successful week. My week was so-so, but sometimes it's just like that. And I hope that next week everything will be better for all of us, that our next time will be quite successful. And I hope that I can check out if my windbreaker on the mic is actually working, because it's quite windy now, and if you still can understand me perfectly, then everything is fine. With that being said, I wish you the best for next week and see you soon if you like on this channel, if you like to join me again. Until then, thanks for watching. Enjoy your time and see ya!